Hi Simon, how's it going? Yeah, 4K, can you believe it? I can't. It's pretty wild. We'll give it to about 20 past and see who joins. Yeah, not quite 40 yet, mate. Got a while left before that. People are actually taking the mick in the rented market, you know, it's actually crazy. See what's going on in the world. But busy, yeah, no worries, man. Everyone's busy nowadays. I did see an interesting kind of clip from Boris Johnson a few years ago, which actually makes sense, his whole strategy. Maybe it's not Dominic Cummings, the one that came up with the dead cat thing, it's Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson. Horse Lance Armstrong NFT is a cheater, lol. It's quite funny. But yeah, we'll kick things off in a couple of minutes, see if we get some more people to join. You know, Bury South would vote for a Labour candidate if an election was held today. I'm so surprised not. Like, that whole Christian Wakefield thing was an absolute joke. Who stood in there? Ivan Lewis? Who the hell is that? Never heard of Ivan Lewis. See what else is going on in the world. You guys got any questions? It's a Q&A kind of session. If you guys got any questions, just throw them in the comments now. And within a minute or two, we're going to go... That's a bit loud. Within a couple of minutes, we're going to go to the questions. Some of the questions people had put down on the poll bit. The community section. You know, Boris Johnson going to visit Ukraine is just funny. Like, what's he gonna do? Like, Vlad, stop it. Get some help. Stop it, Vlad. Like, what is actually gonna happen here? Honestly.
So in this video, we're talking about how...
What is this? Oh right, yeah. I want to check the comments of this. Give people a couple of minutes to catch up. see. I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be a big showing today. Did you watch the latest viewer post? I thought you might. I need to check it out, to be honest. I've not had a lot of time to watch other people's content at the moment. It's just British politics is grim enough. And then when you see what's going on over America with Manchin and Cinema, you're just like, wow. Excuse me. What is Wordle? I don't get it. What am I looking at? You're looking at a screen with a graph on it, I'm gonna say. Shouldn't you be out? Are you not at work, Subby? What are you doing? You're gonna get in trouble, man. Alright, cool. We're gonna start. If you got any questions, throw them in the comments, except you, Subby, because you're gonna try and troll me. So I might not answer your questions because you're a troll. No, joking. Subby's not a troll. He's alright. But yeah, don't troll me, Zubby. I'm warning you. Anyways, if we look at some of the questions, got one from Sam Hartford. Do you think the UK... I'll best load up the comments in my phone just in case someone does comment. Question. Okay. I was really impressed when you were commenting over Ramadan. I'm not sure any other Brit commentator could fast from food and water and say something intelligent. Was it hard? Yeah, Ramadan's hard every year, so... it's just one of them things where, like, I think I was recorded in the morning, so it's not as bad. But once it hits about 5, 6 o'clock, it gets pretty grim. So, yeah. It's a long time ago, to be honest. Ramadan's coming up this year. It's going to be fun. Again, you know, especially when I can't drink tea during my videos, you know, but yeah, going over some post questions. Do you think the UK has any other way to make Brexit work other than deregulation and lowering public services, given the predicted stunted growth? I don't know, because deregulation of services is possible. That wouldn't impact the TCA too much, but deregulation of goods wouldn't work because then the EU would just stick tariffs on us, and it makes the whole Northern Ireland situation worse. So, given that we have a 4% hit to GDP, I don't think there is much the UK government can do. I think their best bet is convergence, but without getting a deal with services, the UK are in big trouble, and like, I can't really give a better answer than that because there isn't a good one here. Do you know what? I'll turn this song off for a bit.
How the channel has hit 4,000.
But yeah, I don't think deregulation will be the answer. Someone asking what does AMA stand for? It's Ask Me Anything. Someone saying congratulations, thanks Claire, sweet. Okay, for someone outside the UK, I have a basic question. If I understand it right, the UK is formed by 4 different countries, isn't it? Yes, you have England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. All 4 seem to have their own governments. So far, okay with me. Why is the English government dominant over the other 3? I think it was because originally we had a monarchy, so the monarch was in charge of the 4 nations, and then once we moved to a parliament, like a proper parliamentary system, after we had some scuffles with the then king, I think it's like Charles or something, what happened was we moved to a full parliamentary system, but it was in Westminster. And so that's why Westminster controlled it, because originally the Queen had controlled it, if that makes sense. So it was just moved on to that. And that's why we have, you know, Westminster has so much control. There has been some movement with devolution, but, you know, Westminster overall controls the purse strings and other things. Why is it that England has such domination? I think it's predominantly because of that. I think because we moved from an absolute monarchy into a constitutional monarchy, but the power remaining in London, that was the key problem. And you've got this man, Cybermex, right? And I don't know how well this gentleman knows me, okay? or if it is a dude, okay, but he's put 2 points here that I talk about on occasion, and I didn't appreciate it. I don't know why you got to be like that. Why you got to be like that? Saying, why is Manchester United a finished club? Manchester United not a finished club, not a finished club. Okay, we got money. We just need decent leadership, just like the Americans and the British. Okay, I'm not having that. That's not a nice thing to say, Cybermex. And why is Solid Snake the worst game character? Now this right here, right, is one of the worst statements I've ever heard anyone comment ever in the history of the channel, right? That is close to warranting a ban on the channel. But I just said, you're about to get debunked, my friend. Solid Snake is one of the great game characters of all time. Because not only is he a cold-blooded stealth killer, he has philosophy. He has beliefs. He's intelligent. He's more than just a solo stealth killer. And when I do my playthrough of MGS2, you'll see that, my friend. You'll see that. Statements like this, they hurt me, guys. The audience, a big audience, and, when people like this come up with, statements like this, it hurts. Some bits on Ukraine will be interesting. What do you think is going to happen? Can see this getting ugly. Now, I think the Ukraine situation is kind of like the Cuban Missile Crisis, where neither side wants to do anything drastic, and they both want to talk to get things sorted. So I think Russia doesn't really want to invade Ukraine. Ukraine doesn't have a ton of strategic importance apart from oil pipelines. But then those pipelines, go into the rest of Europe. They'll stop being used. So that's a key problem. I think the Nord Stream pipeline is something the US blocked. I think it was meant to be like a big pipeline going from Russia to elsewhere in Europe. I'd have to check that one out. But point being is that I don't think Russia has, if Russia does invade Ukraine, right, it's going to be very, very expensive. And it's going to be one of those wars where it could take, if Western forces get involved and start arming the Ukrainians, I don't know how long they could last against the Russians. But if they last a few months, that's a lot of money and, people dying in this conflict. And I think it'll be one of the things that will sink Vlad in the end, wars cost a lot of money, and the Russians aren't doing too great as is. Yes, some companies will do well out of the war as always, but I think the vast majority of Russians will not benefit from the war and struggle even worse because of it. So I think this will be like the Cuban Missile Crisis. Do you think if Ukraine can avoid conflict at all? I think there is will to do that. We've never seen Ukraine's not a nuclear power, to be fair, but it depends on what the West does next. That's the key problem. That's the key problem. I don't think Russia will invade Ukraine. I could be wrong because they did take Crimea, but I think Crimea actually has strategic importance because it's a warm weather port, and the Russians have always needed warm weather ports because of they've got a port in the north which is frozen for certain parts of the year. I think it's near Finland. The port near Japan, which is a warm weather port, but it's on the other side of the world, really. It's by Japan. And they've got the Crimea one, which is by Turkey. So that's the reason why I think they annexed Crimea. Crimea actually has strategic importance. And why on earth I think it was Khrushchev, gave it away, I have no idea. Like, Nikita, man, I like you, but why do something that dumb? If Russia invades Ukraine, do you think the UK will apply sanctions on Russian billions? I don't know, because they did try and do some juju on what's his face, Roman Abramovich. They did try and free stop him from working in the UK. And you've got an extraordinary intervention. US officials expressed their dismay and frustration at the continued refusal of a conservative government awash with Russian cash to shut down the London laundromat, undermining the effectiveness of sanctions. So I don't think that they will, because the Tory party is full of Russian money, isn't it? Excuse me. It's got a lot of Russian money in there, so I don't think they will. At least they look like they have a lot of Russian money. I could be wrong. But based on that clown, we've got to talk about him in a minute. Based on what I'm seeing here, the Tory party. Look, did they mention it here? The Times leader, dirty Russian money and the Ukrainian crisis, calls for the government. I mean, if the Tory party are taking a lot of Russian money, which it looks like they are, they're not going to stop this because it's not worth their time. So yeah, you're right, Darian. I think the UK should do a lot more to stop this, but they're not going to. Do you think there'll be a hot war in Ukraine? The vast majority of the audience voting no. It's actually 460 people voted in this poll, which is crazy. Didn't know these posts had such reach. 460 people voted. They think no, but it's quite a big split there. I don't think there will be a hot war in Ukraine. Someone put I chose no, but I'm still concerned. Putin is getting old. Old men have issues with power and status. He also, like many despots, surrounded with yes men or cowards. There is no one that can truly advise him on the best and safest action. Whereas Mays, who will back himself into a corner and he feels the only way out is to invade East Ukraine, which I don't know. I genuinely don't think so. Not until after the Beijing Olympics. I was meant to Google that. Does anyone know when the Beijing Olympics is? Is that at the end of this year? The Winter Olympics? I find it highly unlikely that Putin would take a risk afterwards, though, as it might be an expensive exercise. I think it's going to cost them a lot of money, and I think it's a lot of money they don't have. You did not write if you meant short-term or long-term. Russian barrack of Soviet occupation army, Czechoslovakia, where I'm my town until 1990. It took 10 years to get rid of the mess they created. I can see part of the town now. If I look from my window, I'm afraid that war will be used for a tool for other goals for Russians. So it is, in the long term, unfortunately inevitable. I don't think it is. I think it'll be a very costly mistake if Russia invade Ukraine, but it depends what the West does. With NATO now mobilising, Putin will rethink things. No, because the UK media won't show it, which is quite funny. I think... Did he add something? I don't believe that. I just want to write a smart comment. I actually think Tory media will have it on a few front pages every day. They need to, because it's going to take away from the scandal which is currently ensuing. Clearly the Americans aren't happy with the money laundering going on. Darian again saying, same week there were poisonings in Shrewsbury. Theresa May was going out for dinner with a Russian donor to the Tories. Ukraine is the Russian version of the Northern Ireland Protocol. I suppose so in a way. But I don't know. I'd have to... that's a tough one. We got this clip of Boris Johnson talking about how to save yourself from scandals, really. I'm going to put the volume down a bit.
I don't mind. I think my theory is I've got a brilliant new strategy, which is to make so many gaffes that nobody knows which one to concentrate on.
So they cease to be newsworthy.
They cease to be newsworthy. You completely outgeneral the media in that way, and they despair. They despair, and so what you do, you they leave you alone. You shell them, you pepper the media. What you do is you've got to pepper their positions with so many gaffes that they're confused. It's like chaff, it's like a helicopter throwing out chaff. And then you steal...
Does he mean flares? When helicopters use flares, do they use chaffs? I thought helicopters use flares to, block out air guns. Or like SAM missiles.
...on quietly and drop your depth charges wherever you want to drop them.
So him saying, he uses scandals to deflect away from other things so he can do the more important things that he cares about more. I assume Russia's major objective is take over Donetsk in Ukraine and then consolidate rather than invade all of the country. It's possible. It's very hard to understand what the Russians are doing. I think the sanctions have hit them quite hard, so they are looking at trying to... I think the sanctions hit them quite hard, so I think they're trying to look for a way to kind of pressure the West into getting rid of them, but without knowing how badly the sanctions are hitting them, we don't know. I mean, America have said that if Russia does invade Ukraine, that potentially they could look at sanctioning Vladimir Putin directly. So, basically shutting down any of his kind of assets that the Americans can get access to. So that would be quite interesting. Point being is that this man, people think he's incompetent. He does this stuff on purpose. Did I mention this? Son of Viking wrote a really weird question about the 42 is the answer to life. I suppose if 3 is the magic number, why can't 42 be the answer to life? Congratulations, lots of nice messages. So I don't think what do you call it? Brain's not functioning right now. I don't think we'll see a hot war in Ukraine. I could be wrong. I'll take an L on that if the Russians do invade. They are in civil war at the moment, as far as I know of. But not a great all-round situation for them. But if you guys got any questions or any topics you want me to discuss, feel free to throw them in. and yeah, we can discuss it. But yeah, not the longest stream in the world. But it's a Q&A session, so if anyone's got any questions, feel free to go for it. Can't remember if there was anything else I actually wanted to discuss. Do I see anything else of interest in the timeline? Suppose we can discuss how Boris Johnson killed satire. That'd be quite a fun one. 42 is from a book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the mega computers asked for the meaning of life and answered 42. Oh, I see. So yeah, sorry about that. I got a text message from someone. Let's see. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything more interesting. Boris Johnson to visit Ukraine. I mean, that's how you start a war, and to send Johnson in. It's a good way to start something. This is quite funny. Anne-Marie something announcing that we've got a great, we're starting negotiations on a continuity free trade agreement with, what's it called? Which country was this? Greenland? Yeah. They're talking about how Greenland's going to benefit from, the UK starting negotiations with them, even though they're talking about a continuity deal, a continuity free trade agreement. So that's, one we already have, which is hilarious. Yeah, it's just so funny. What else we got? It's a scandal one. It's, apparently, Tom Tugendhat has thrown his hat in the ring, saying he would be Prime Minister if Boris Johnson went, and my response to be, who is that guy? Never heard of Tom Tugendhat. Some stuff about the Met's non-interference with non-intervention. Sorry, what was it about? The Met's sudden intervention in the Partygate stuff. You got this stuff, Emma Kennedy, Pure Vibes, saying, if I had Sue Gray's number, I'd be texting her non-stop, which is a bit of a melt move. Have you seen any Graham Taylor's live blogs about getting to Luxembourg and back with getting the van driver? It's taken them 3 days. It's taken 3 days to get through customs. No, I haven't seen it, to be honest. I haven't. Don't really follow. Is it Graham Hughes you're talking about? I don't really watch. Apart from like Max, Phil, and Outside Views and Truth to Power, I don't really watch a ton of people's content. Like on the UK side, like I try to watch more American content so I can see what's going on over there. No, you got some absolute clown saying, look, yeah, if Sue Gray does decide to publish the report and she gets fired over it, he goes, oh yeah, she'll gain her integrity. And I'm just like, yeah, try paying your bills with integrity, mate. Zara Sultana not happy with the situation. Johnson and the ERG hate Tugendhat, so at least he has that going from, yeah, but, those guys there, like Rory Stewart and Jeremy Hunt, and who else was there? Jeremy Hunt. There was a few others. I think Ken Clark was another one. These people, should not get a redemption arc. There should be no redemption for these people after doing what they've done. There should be no redemption. These are people who've implemented rampant austerity. There is no redemption arc for these people. There should never be. Liberals, siding with them. It's 2010 all over again. No, don't do this. People failing to understand, like, the fact is the Met Police have saved Johnson again by trying to stop the do any Tories have empathy given that they've implemented really awful austerity on the country, have taken money and food from school kids? Can anyone argue that Tories have any empathy at all whatsoever? No. You can't do that. So yeah. So yeah, like the point being is like people who argue Tories have any empathy or whatever, it's a myth. you know, screw those guys. You know, like they're part of the reason why we're in this mess. You know, you got Sadiq Khan saying he's got full confidence in the Met Commissioner Cressida Dick. You know, Sadiq has always been clear that the Met must police without fear or favour. Anything less than a full investigation with transparency about the process will damage public trust. I mean, to be fair, I put a tweet calling him a fraud, but really that's not the case. I best delete this actually, because he's not fraudulent there. He's saying like anything short of that will be bad. So that was my bad. Yeah, I mean, sure, but you know, you're going back to David Cameron era politics. That's the problem, and you know, Dave was not good for the country. That's the problem. If the choice between Dave and Johnson, then sure, you know, you're going to pick Dave all day. But the problem is Dave is still, he's still a prat. Gotta watch my language in case any of my cousins are watching. But yeah, he's a prat. You know, this one made me laugh. This one here, right, where you've got for the events, it's a Partygate, right? The Met Police is investigating. The Met Police are asking for minimal reference to be made in the Cabinet Office. The Met Police did not ask for any limitations on any other events in the report or for the report to be delayed, but we have ongoing contact with the Cabinet Office, including the content of the report, to avoid any prejudice of our investigation. I mean, honestly, it's a joke. You know, the Met Police back in the Tories makes sense because they need each other, especially because Cressida Dick should have gone a long time ago. Oh, people insulting Gary Neville. Sad times. Yeah, Sue Gray's team insists her investigation is still continuing. Sounds like it's not complete, but there are always rumours like it was done on Wednesday. So that doesn't even make sense, because how could she be done already when there are more and more stories of parties coming out? It doesn't make any sense. People thought her report was done before the cake story came out. Or sorry, shall I say the non-cake story, because apparently there wasn't a cake. You know, this guy, Peter Foss, they works for the FT, saying, like, you know, who cares if Liz Truss kind of used a private plane because it makes the country look more serious when it really doesn't. There's a Telegraph writer being called out by an ITV guy because apparently, you know, the Telegraph writer saying there was no cake, saying Boris Johnson could not have been ambushed by a cake at Downing Street party when COVID restrictions were enforced because there was no cake. The Prime Minister has told his allies. In an unexpected turn, Boris Johnson said there was no cake. And then you've got ITV's Paul Brand saying, when we approached number 10 for an official response on Monday, they did not at any moment deny there was a cake. Ministers have repeatedly discussed the cake in interviews ensuing, including Conor Burns. So, you know, we've got Cake Gate now, which is great. You've got a stalemate over, let's see, there's basically the talks, I need to cover this in a video soon, but talks regarding, you know, changes to the Northern Ireland Protocol, that's, you know, put on hold because of Johnson. So that's not great. The Met Police have been corrupt for a long time. Prejudice 2-hour investigation. Interesting use of the wrong preposition. Liz Truss and using a private plane just shows the Tories will go to any length to protect dumb animals. Slow. You know, this is some sort of article about the European Union, you know, chiefs trying to steal thousands of British jobs by insisting new wind contracts be opened up to business on the continent. I thought, you know, people in the Sun believed in the free market. Now suddenly they're not believing in the free market. You got the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. You know, this is something Max was talking about yesterday. Oh yeah, there's no sound on this. You know, talking about how, you know, it's a massive propaganda piece. You've got this one I'm going to cover this one in a video soon about how, actually, do you know what? I think I might be able to show you guys some upcoming projects. Nope, that's the wrong button. Just because there's like a couple of you here, might as well. Kind of the ones I've got that are coming out. So these ones are scheduled. This one's on. So that one's been demonetized. I put it under review, but it's saying it could take 7 days. So I probably just have to publish it with no money. You got, you know, this is some of my best work right here. Look at that thumbnail. That's beautiful. One sec. Let me see if I'm. Oops. Go in my Discord server. Check that out. Isn't that not a work of art? Rehashes old arguments. Blames the EU for it. Actual one rehashing the argument. Look at that. Isn't that not a work of art? Ah, one of my best thumbnails right here. It's no pretty. What do the numbers mean? Which is my best work of art. But yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, kind of. American politicians fail to understand the EU, plus a nasty propaganda piece from the Telegraph. That was a really, really bad propaganda piece. I had to read about 7 different articles to debunk this guy. Very painful, as you can imagine. But yeah, do you know what? We'll probably wrap this in a couple minutes. Let's play the outro song. Where you gone? Is it this? No, that's not it. Great. I'll play the outro song and... Oops, that's not it. There we go. Thanks, man. I appreciate you again. Thanks. I really appreciate the super chat. For the well done on reaching 4K members, I really appreciate that. Right, yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll call the stream about 1 o'clock. So what time did what time is... But yeah, what more can you say apart from the fact that the whole thing is a joke? Let's be real here. I mean, this whole system, the Met Police bailing out Johnson bailing out the Met Police, is absolute fraudulence, especially after what the Met Police, you know, that police officer did, that poor lady, and then the fact that, you know, the people tried to protest, and then the Met Police shut it down. Like, it's just embarrassing. The Met Police need to go. Absolutely need to get gone. Police force is dodgy as hell, man. And I think the reason why a lot of politicians, especially ones that live in London, are afraid to criticise the Met is because they might need the Met, or the Met Police might go after them. I genuinely believe that if they openly criticise the Met, that the Met Police would potentially go after them, or if anything happened, they wouldn't help them, because the Met Police seem very, very petty, very, very petty, and they're not open to change. That's the main problem. An institution that isn't open to reform is a failed one. And it scares me, the fact that they have so much power over politics in this country. Genuinely is terrifying. But yeah, sorry, I'm not on a ton of sleep. I think that's the main problem today. The problem with sleep is it catches up with you, so you can't escape it. You need to get like 6 hours minimum, I think. See, the dick is either massively incompetent or massively corrupt. When a black Olympian criticised them, her cows immediately stopped by the... Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's not incompetent, it's corruption. It's corruption, because, you know, if that, you know, that story, I'd have to read into it, but if that's the case, that doesn't surprise me at all that they would go out of their way to target people. Honestly, they're thugs. How dare you? Excuse me, sorry, just sparkling water does that to me. Sparkling drink. Point being is that, look at it this way, yeah? The Met Police, there was that investigation into the journalist who was murdered, and the Met Police covered it up. You know, that's not the first time that's happened. I don't think the Met is afraid of the government. I think their relationship is symbiotic. They need each other. That's the main problem. They desperately need each other. They protect each other. I don't think they're afraid of the government at all, because this moment right here, this is their moment to go after the government if they really wanted to take it. They didn't. She's competent at being corrupt. Yeah, I suppose so. That's one way of framing it. But she's very dodgy. That's what I'm gonna say. She's very dodgy. And the simple fact is, why isn't it at the time she didn't investigate the Tory government or the Westminster parties? Then suddenly, there was Sue Gray actually did the legwork. Sue Gray actually started the investigation. A goddamn civil servant, it's not her job, actually started investigating it. That's insane to me. That's genuinely insane. What's Operation Countryman? I think the government is more afraid of the Met. The Met covered up a lot of crap for the government. Yeah, exactly. I think you might be right there, Darian, to be honest. Because the Met Police have had tons of opportunities to investigate Johnson. They haven't taken any of them. They've had lots. Let's not forget about the dodgy dossier as well, where there was a dossier that Theresa May allegedly lost that talked about people in, I think, Westminster did some absolutely horrific crimes. I don't have the data in front of me, but I remember the stories about the dodgy dossier. And what happened? Did the police investigate Theresa May for losing this dossier of information? No. They should have done, but they didn't. Dick has the shovel in her hand, mate. Yeah, I think it's a symbiotic relationship. Like I said, they need each other desperately, because if they start going after Tories, the Tories could go after them. It could get very messy for her. Very, very messy. And but the other problem is that the Met Police are, I think, typically the ones in charge of looking after politicians and making sure they're safe and okay. What if the Met Police suddenly weren't there, or something bad happened to one of these politicians? That's how the Met could spin it. Exactly. The government keep blocking them from investigating, but the Met Police don't want to investigate it. If they were going to investigate it, they would have done so from the jump. That's the key problem. The government can't stop an investigation. They really can't. If anything, the government, Johnson actually welcomed the investigation from the Met, because it stopped the publishing of the Grey Report. That's what he wanted. It's bought him a few more weeks, and what's going to happen is this story is going to slip away into the ether. That's what's going to happen. This story is going to slip away. People are going to get bored. People are not going to care. Oh, they're all the same. They're all this, they're that. Oh, who cares anymore? It'd be worse under Labour anyways. Labour would have had bigger parties and worse parties and more wine and cheese. I don't know, but that's what ended up happening. Operation Countryman was a major probe into corruption in the Met in the late 70s. Many heads rolled, yeah. Not surprised. The government can't block police investigations. Come on, man. Have they? If they have, can you drop some links in the server, please? I'll have a look later. Because all I can see is Met Police launch investigation into Downing Street parties. I can't see anything. I'll have to change the search settings. Bear with me, guys. You don't do a custom search on mobile. Oh, that sucks. That's absolutely painful. Didn't know the government could block police investigations like that. You're living in a fantasy land, huh? Maybe I don't know, man. I'd have to see some citations for that one, but yeah, as far as I know of, because there was the whole Alan Turing, where if the government were going to block an investigation, they should have blocked one into him. There is more than one way to skin a cat, I don't know. I don't think so. That's right. It was Sir Robert Marks who started that investigation. Bro, why you gotta do that? You want criminals to let you see citations? What? No, I just want to see citations about the government blocking police investigations. Why you got to do Michael Fabricant like that? He's just, he's. Oh yeah, we've got Boris Johnson at home. That's who he is. Oh, that guy, man. Oh. You know it's bad when your biggest offenders are Nadine Dorries and what's that guy's name? Michael Fabricant. You know it's bad when that happens because, oh boy, did they, when Fabricant said something on the lines of, oh, if police investigate every instance of threats and bullying from the Whip's office and my retaliations to them, they wouldn't be able to do anything else. Like, what? Well, it's something on those lines, anyways. From what I remember, like, bro, like, what? Why would you say that? Like, it doesn't make, these people make no sense. Honestly, people like Michael Fabricant make no sense. Like, imagine, right? You're in trouble. Yeah, you really need help, and the two people who come to your aid are Nadine Dorries and Michael Fabricant. Also Dominic Raab as well. Dominic Raab, he said, oh, it wasn't work drinks, it was after work drinks, and I'm just like, oh, like, are these really your best people? Like, why did they let them on TV? Why would you let someone like Fabricant or Nadine Dorries on TV? I'd be like, Nadine, here's a ministerial job. You stay off the airwaves. Don't want to see you on TV. Don't do interviews. Don't talk to anyone. Never do interviews. If they ask you questions, say, I'm busy. I can't talk right now. I have things to do. I have a life. And Michael Fabricant is I think he's just there for attention, to be honest. I really don't get that. His hair is so whack. What? Why would you buy the worst toupee? Yeah, there was a whole report into, I think, Kopak, where I can't remember his name. It was a journalist that was killed. I'd have to look for it later. I'll put it in the server if I can find it. There was a big inquiry into it. The Met Police tried to block it, and then they kept disputing everything, and it was very clear that the Met Police... Thinking of something else. Yeah, bun the Met Police, man. They are the worst. I don't know what that means, but if anything, I think Nadine Dorries has experience eating things like animal intestines and other parts of animals which you would not typically want to eat. So yeah, if anything knows about intestines and other bits and pieces, it's Nadine Dorries. Johnson isn't the only useful idiot. The criminals have to distract the plebs. You need to start seeing through the obvious diversions. What are the obvious diversions? Because if anything, they're the ones that are revealing what's going on. People like Dominic Raab, where he's like, oh, it wasn't a work event, it was an after work event, and you're just like, well, you've just blown up your whole reasoning then, haven't you? Trust me, they're not distractions. They're sent out there to defend the government, rifle in hand, see the enemy, shoot the enemy, and instead they've shot themselves. That's what they are. They're not diversions, trust me. They are sent out there to try and defend the government because they need ministers out there, and they're the only ones willing to go. And they end up inadvertently saying stupid stuff. If you follow the Secret Barrister on Twitter, you'll see him talk. You see them. You don't actually know what gender they are, even though we can kind of guess. If you follow them, the Secret Barrister, you'll see it. If you have to ask what is obvious, then you've obviously been distracted. No, mate. Honestly, follow the Secret Barrister, right? You'll see it on their Twitter page. They talk about how people like Dorries and Rob blow up their stories. Yeah, some of these ministers are dumb. When the Sun was phone hacking, the Met did the absolute least it could. Yeah, I think someone actually tried to take them to court over not investigating it. I can't remember who it was. Somebody did. I think someone did threaten to take them to court over not investigating the phone hacking. Who was involved in the phone hacking? It was the media, right? It was certain newspapers. Was it News of the World? I think it was. They were involved in it. Why would the Met Police not investigate? Tabloids? Is it because tabloids could write some very vicious things about the Met Police? Is this them buying favours? Gee, I wonder. But yeah, honestly, I've got to shoot in a couple of minutes, so we'll drag this out till 5 past. How's that sound? We'll go to about 5 past, then I've got to go. But yeah, some of these ministers are dumb, mate. The lack of talent within the front benches of both parties is very scary. But the lack of talent within the Tory party is one of the scariest things I've seen. Which ministers actually seem intelligent? Sunak maybe, but he believes in Thatcherite economics. So is he that smart? I don't know. Javid the same. Who else? Who else you got? Theresa Coffey apparently has a PhD in chemistry. She's dumb as a box of rocks. When it comes to politics, anyway, she might be good at chemistry. It doesn't mean she's good at anything else. Who else you got? Liz Truss. Again, I think she's someone who's politically savvy, but also as a minister in terms of getting her job done, is she that good? No. So yeah, the tabloids have been paying the Met police officers for leaks and tips for decades. The Met officers didn't want to lose their illegal payoffs. Maybe. I'd have to look into that. Hello, Shuanix. Thanks, man. See you later, Viking. Yeah, honestly, the Met Police just need a root and branch approach now. You've got to start just moving people on at this point. You either get rid of the whole police service and start a fresh one, fresh institutions, new management, or you just a root and branch approach, start getting rid of people, starting with the top down. Anyone who has any stench of corruption, gone. Because this is just insane. The situation with a police force, is just, what are they doing? Honestly, people are going to lose faith in them. But then, how are they going to continue to prosecute people based on them breaking the lockdown rules when they won't even investigate the goddamn Prime Minister for it? I guess their argument was we don't investigate retroactive stuff, but I mean, stuff like this is just absolutely egregious. Absolutely egregious. Darren, I'd have to see citations for that, mate. To be honest with you, that's a bit, yeah. I'd have to be careful about saying that one, but yeah, I can't remember the journalist's name, the one that was killed. Sad. I'll have to Google it later, but yeah, I remember reading about what happened, and the Met covered it up essentially, but from what I remember, anyways, and yeah, you too, Simon, mate. Have a good weekend. It just beggars belief that it's this bad, honestly. If someone told me when the coalition government's formed it would get worse, I'd be like, ha ha ha, how's it gonna get worse? And then it just really just got worse, kept getting worse, and you're just like, where does this bottom out? Where is the I can't even think of words now. Where is it? Where is the base rock essentially? What is the bottom point for these guys? And I genuinely don't know, because it could get worse. It probably will get worse, because the economy is going to shrink. The economy is going to shrink, and it's going to get worse. So I don't know. What more can you do? At this point, there's a pin for my second channel, which if you guys want to, I probably should have said that at the start, 'cause I'm a clown. I forgot to say it. It's going to be predominantly gaming and other stuff. So if you want to subscribe to that, go have a look. But yeah, I just with the Met Police and the government, it's just if one of them worked okay, it wouldn't be that bad. But given that both of them are rubbish, thanks, man. Given that both of them are rubbish and they both have to deal with each other, that's a huge problem. And I just don't know. I don't know what happens from here. Boris Johnson's clear strategy of just peppering the media with scandals works. It works. So what more can you do? And as always, every time I stream, more and more people join right towards the end, as always. But yeah, I've got to shoot. It's 1:05, so yeah, probably a good point to end it here. It's been a good stream. Probably do more of these in future. If you guys have more questions and stuff, probably do community posts once in a while. The only problem with doing community posts is the people who post questions aren't always in the streams, because life can get in the way. But yeah, I'll tell you what, guys, we'll end it here. What video have I got coming out today? Let's have a look. What's today's content? Today's content. The Liz Truss one with the Spider-Man thumbnail. This one's coming out tomorrow. No, this one's coming out today about the lorries. Lorries facing huge queues on the border, and the UK's IT system makes it worse. That's about the GVMS system. Yeah, sorry guys, I've got to shoot, but yeah, next time. Chat next time. Join the Discord, people. Join the Discord. Where is the thing? Invite people. Change it to edit link. Do never join the Discord, people. Where's the thing? There you go. If anyone's still here, join the Discord. Yeah, stay safe, stay alert, as a Vladimir Prime Minister says. Stay alert, guys, and yeah, join the server if you want, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next stream or the next video. I don't know, probably the next video in about 3 hours time.